Okay, so I'm making this video on how to be successful as a psychic. As you guys know, I've been doing this for about 13 years professionally. I was born with it. However, I have learned some things throughout the years. Some of these things I learned the hard way, but I did indeed learn them, and that's really all that matters. So my job is to share with you. If you're thinking that you have psychic ability, and I talk to some people that do believe they do, and if you want tips on how to run a business, because you can be psychic or whatever your talent or gift is and have no idea to run that kind of business. And I do want to share this with people because it is a different kind of business. You know, clearly it's entrepreneurial, but it's more in the creative arts. So this would go along more with my friends that are musicians and artists and writers and stuff like that, and photographers. But if you are in metaphysics or even a massage therapist, hypnotherapist, anything like that, there are some things that I've definitely learned that have helped me, you know, with success with what I do. So I'm going to go over the 3 things right now, and I'm going to start with number 1, which is going to be education. And I don't mean like just, you know, whatever you go and have a degree. I mean like continuing education. I am a believer in traditional education. I don't think I would have even gotten as far as I have with this if I didn't have a degree in advertising and communications and had years experience as a teacher, because all education does is make you smarter and give you more opportunities. It makes you a better communicator. It makes you a better writer. It makes you, every professional job I've ever had in my life, you know, I've met people through that job who later become my customers with my business, and just people in general I like. It's also really important that we continue with our educations, because when you own a business and when you're kind of like marketing for yourself or whatever, it's really good. It's really important to be a good writer. It's really important to be a good communicator. It's really good to be able to talk to people. And I just found that continuing education is beneficial to anyone who wants success. Like, we can always get smarter, you know? And you know, for me, sometimes I don't feel like taking on readings. Luckily, I have other avenues, other means, you know, I have other things that I can do. Thank God for having an education. So I don't get so burned out, you know, because I can just turn that off and go do something else. So if you are, you know, interested in maybe doing readings professionally or anything like that, because this is a draining job, being a psychic, a very draining job, that is one thing I want to stress the importance of. I don't believe that, oh, you just have one thing and that's it. You always need options in life. Options and education equal freedom. So, and I'm still now thinking about some things I want to do in the future, educationally wise, so that, you know, I can grow a little bit more and have new opportunities, because I do love freedom. That's my thing, is freedom, and education equals freedom. And we really don't want to sound stupid when you write, when you speak. You know, you want to be very articulate. As somebody in metaphysics, this career already has a bad reputation, so you don't want to come off like a moron. So having a traditional education and continuing to learn and grow and read is very important, because reading makes you smarter, and you don't want to go into a business, no matter what it is, looking like an idiot. So I am pro education. The second thing you want to do is have real clear and concise boundaries. I did learn this one the hard way. By nature, for me to be able to sit down with a customer or somebody I've never talked to on the phone before and be able to tell their future, their past, come up with names, clearly I don't naturally have good boundaries, right? I'm tapping into their stuff. But one thing I've learned is that boundaries are imperative for a psychic's well-being. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed or known other psychics who really truly are psychics, and they tend to get sick a lot. And this is probably the case with, like, I would think massage therapists and stuff like that too, people that are always taking other people's problems and energy in. So boundaries is going to be the lifesaver. And what I mean by boundaries is a couple different things. Be careful who you're friends with. Being a psychic and a decently known one and having a big following and a lot of people that come to you is kind of the equivalent of like having money, except you don't have money. People will try to use you for that. You know, they'll just befriend you because you might know the answer. That, you know, they need help with their business. I've dealt with this before. And so, you know, it's a using mentality. Be aware of that. Like I said, I learned that one the hard way. Be aware that that person is a user. You'll see that they use people in other areas of their life too, if you pay attention, and you know how to cut that boundary off. Another thing I want to say too is, like, when I go to a party with my friends or whatever, somebody inevitably is always like, oh, you know what she does, you know? And I'm like, no, please don't tell them what I do, because my work time is my work time, and that's it. And I do talk to hundreds of clients every year, and I don't remember people's problems. I might remember the person and maybe like the person. And that's why it says on my website really loud and clear, I don't accept text messages. If I talked to you a week ago, no matter how much I like you, I'm not going to remember your problems. Okay. I talk to too many people. I'll get sick if I remember too many people's problems. I have my own personal life. I have my own stuff I'm working on. And that would be one thing I would say, if you are a psychic or you're trying to go into that business, if you legit have, if you legit have talent, you're going to get a following. So, because it's word of mouth and everything else, and things happen and then people come back and, but really, really, really set clear and concise boundaries. I don't accept text messages. There's a reason why. It's not because I'm trying to be a big meanie. I'm not willing to get myself sick. I don't think about other people's problems when I hang up the phone. I mean, that's just the honest to God truth. When you schedule another session, this is part of being a business owner. Like, I'm not all ooh, woo, woo, I'm just floating through life. Like, I legit have to take care of myself, and I'm running a business, and that's what it is. It is a service. And for those of you in metaphysics, you need to think of yourself as a service. You guys would be surprised the text messages I've gotten, even though it says on my website, I don't accept text messages. It's like, well, you said this, and I'm like, really? Am I dealing with this? I mean, I would never dream of, never mind, I'm not going to get into it, but that's something I never would do. So as it's my job to create those firm boundaries with people. And I say this with anybody in that field that's kind of a little like woo woo, is this person legit or not legit, whatever. Definitely have an education, so you have other things you can do to make a living, and keep getting an education, because education equals freedom. And have boundaries, because boundaries are where you're going to, you need them for your own health, okay? Your own health. And psychics by nature are sensitive to everything. So they don't have phenomenal boundaries. That's something we have to teach ourselves. That's something I had to learn myself, is to know when to cut them off, to know who to be friends with, who not to be friends with, to keep even though I have a ton of acquaintances, but to keep my inner circle, pretty tight with people that appreciate me, and people that are self-motivated. They don't go to psychics they don't like, those are the kind of people that I have in my circle, And then the other thing too is discernment is going to be something that's really important. And that goes along with ethics. In this field, you're going to want to stay as ethical as possible, because in any field, you want to stay as ethical as possible. In particular, as a psychic, as an astrologer, if you do not feel like you are going to give somebody the best reading possible because you're human and maybe you don't like them, don't give them a reading. Don't take their money. Just do not take their money. Only fake psychics will keep taking. Those of us who are real, it's tiring, it's draining. I found that some people rely too much on me, and I've written before, like, it's not good. I'm not God. I'm a believer in God. I'm a believer in church. Stay down to earth. Psychics are fun. They're entertainment. Maybe I can help you out with your business. We can look at some options. That's what I've done a lot of my whole life, is stuff with people's businesses, careers, lawsuits. We've looked at different options and what the most likely outcome will be. So, you want to discern who you take on as a customer, because people by nature, you give and they'll keep taking. So if you don't feel like, and this is why you have to, one by one, set my appointments. I don't do it like, there's not like a computer thing where you can be like, okay, I want Thursday the 5th, and you just click it. I will personally write people back, okay? And say, okay, this is the time, whatever. You have to pay within a certain amount of time. Now, my prices have gone up. There's Edgar. My prices have gone up a lot, and there is a method to my madness. That is by design. Because I did go to school for communications and advertising, I have a little knowledge of marketing and the demographic I'm going for. And I'm not really trying to bring in people that are dependent on psychics. I'm trying to bring in people that are, intuitive themselves, need time, sometimes need help talking to somebody, or if they have a business. So I just had a lady the other day, she paid the $225. She's like, listen, I'm not trying to brag, but this is what she said. She's like, you're the best I've ever been to. So I'm going to pay the $225, and come to you, save up, and come every 6 months. That's sanity. Okay. You don't need to ask a psychic, like, okay, I don't feel good. What's going on? Okay, my dog's sick. What's going on? Like, literally, like, go to a doctor, take your dog to a vet. We're just human beings, and that's what it's supposed to be. Some people get a little bit money hungry. They might lower their prices. They might do readings back to back all day. I don't know if they're accurate or not, and I'm not here to judge anybody. That's not my thing, but I know one thing for sure. You do too many and you're going to get sick. So you got to take care of yourself. You can't help anybody else unless you take care of yourself. And ethically, it is not right. I've had people that I just don't get along with. They've texted me personal things on my cell phone, and then they want me to help them again, or written like some nasty thing online, and then they want me to help them. And no. And I'm not doing it to be like a difficult, nasty, vengeful person. I'm doing it because it's not ethical for me to read for somebody that I know that deep in my heart, because I am human, like I don't really jive with or like. So, you know, that's the thing with that. So you definitely want to keep educated, have a traditional education. It's really important. It equals freedom. It equals opportunity. It makes you smarter. And people are like, oh, well, you know, it has to make you smarter. The more educated you are, the better writer, reader, communicator you are. And at the end of the day, education is that opportunity. So stay grounded if you're in this field. Work on other things, you know, while you do this. Real successful psychics, they always stay grounded. They're not like, oh, I'm meditating all day, every day and out there, and oh, karma this, karma that. Grounded, bottom line. It's a service, it's a business. Also, the discernment and the integrity is really going to be important, because that'll come back around. You want to advertise to a certain demographic, like I said. So it's really important that you figure out where the vision is for your work, for your business. Obviously, we're trying to help people, but it's really important that you stay healthy too. And these are just some tips for you guys. If you're in that field, if you're thinking about getting in that field, of course, if you are a psychic and you want to do this as a living and you think that, you know, you can really help people, I will refer people to you. I am not jealous, not at all. I have other things I do with my life. So really, people that are talented, no matter what they are, aren't jealous of other people in the profession. It doesn't matter. Even if you're a musician, they're just not jealous, because like your talent's your talent, right? There's no reason to be jealous. But definitely feel free to email me. I will do a little test. I can tell a real psychic from a fake one really pretty quick. But I have no problem referring people to you, because I do get a little bit too busy sometimes and I can't get to everybody. And you know, maybe I don't jive with a certain person and maybe you will, or whatever, just personality clash or whatever. So definitely feel free to email me. I am all for supporting everyone trying to own their businesses and trying to create the life that they want. So I want to thank you guys so much for this. Any questions, comments, please link below. I'll go back to astrology in my next video. I think we're going to talk about the second house. So that's where I'm at. Thanks. Bye.